This is an introduction. Okay, so hello. Hello, I'm Anne. I'm going to do a vlog about my sci-fi horror. I'm getting closer and closer to the end, and I'm like so unsure of when I'm gonna finish it. There is entirely a chance that this is like the last time you're gonna see me before I finish the book, and that I'll go full-on gremlin mode and just like disappear and just write for a while. So just as a preparation, that might happen. I feel really close. I think I'm like very, very close, and I have no idea how fast I'm going to end up writing this. Sometimes it might be really slow because I'm getting really nervous about like finishing it. Which is silly, but I'm getting really nervous about finishing it, and so it might go really slowly, but it might go really fast. It depends. I have a lot of questions about the ending of this one, so we'll see how it works out. But I figured I should actually start a vlog. The chances are pretty high that I will just disappear, and I would like to have some like recording of me finishing this book. And if it happens to happen this time, that would be great. But also I think I'm being a little overzealous thinking it might happen this time. So in this book, there's kind of like a false end, and I didn't realize it was gonna be a fake ending until I got to it. It's like I'm just keeping going, and I'm wondering if when I reread this, if I'll start feeling the stress, like, oh no, this is too quiet. Like, this is not just an epilogue of what's going to happen next. This is like actual stuff. We'll see how this turns out. But anyways, thanks for chatting. I'm way too into it and ready to write to really chat for too long. But yeah, yay, go us. I'm going to go ahead and write this stuff up and write some more. Will there be a chase scene? Who knows? It's gonna be such a fun moment, and like I'm building up to another moment that's gonna be really intense, and that's like my dream moment that I've been dreaming of writing since like before I even started writing this book. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Wish me luck. Anyways. I'll see you whenever I see you. Okay, so hello. Update. We are not going gremlin mode. I've thought about it, and there's like no way I'm gonna finish this in like any sort of reasonable time. So no gremlin mode. We're fine. But I was feeling a bit like unsure about how to continue. In some previous vlog, I mentioned how there was like a character that I was gonna kill off, but it turns out that at this point in the book, there's like 4 people alive. 4 people out of 6 have survived, and that is just too much. Okay, that is just way too much. So I was kind of feeling like really unmotivated to continue. Like I felt like there was something wrong, okay? Like I was sitting there trying to write, being like, there is something severely wrong with what I have planned and what's going to be going forward. And I was just like, I couldn't get myself to write, even though this is a scene that I'm so into that I've been like waiting to like get to. Like I got to that scene. I got to that scene that I've been waiting to get to, and it's wonderful. But I wasn't enjoying it initially because I was like, there is something that is like intrinsically wrong with this scene. And so I took out my extra little notebook, I started writing, and I started really exploring it. And I realized the problem was that there were still 4 people alive, which is not necessarily an issue in and of itself. So I started like, do I like kill them off earlier? Is there a way I can make that work with like how everything goes down? Is there a way I can adjust to things that have happened and still retain what I want? And I realized that like, no, not really, because if I change the things earlier on and kill him about where I was expecting to, his death will have a different theme than what I've had the other deaths be. Like it won't push the main character further into the depths of despair, which is what I need. I need the main character to despair. Every death so far has pushed her closer and closer to despair, and that's what I want. So I think that actually is turning out pretty well, because like there's this false end, right? Where it seems like it ends, but then it keeps going. It keeps going, and then there are still 4 people alive in like a horror book. And so it is very clearly like there's something not quite right in the horror book itself. And so I think that adds to kind of the tension in having 4 people alive, weirdly enough. So I'm very pleased with it. His like stay of death or whatever, not gonna last very long. Yeah, I found a way to kill him off that makes sense thematically with the main character and what she wants, and it will help push her further into her self-destructive behaviors. I figured it out. And now I feel like I can actually continue writing. There's not something I'm like missing, right? And I'm just really happy about it. It's like so much fun because this scene is actually giving me like so much more context to things that happened before this point, which means scenes, when I actually go back and edit it, I can add this into the context of the previous scenes, which will make it seem like foreshadowing, when really it's just me like being like, ah yes, let me go fix this in the past. Because it felt like my thematic goals were like not there. I don't know, but I feel like the thematic goals are there now. But yeah, so I'm not going to keep this super long because I want to get back to writing. But yeah, I will see you next time we chat. I don't know. I'll see you next time we chat. Hello. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's been a while. Okay, it's been at least like, it's been maybe a week. I don't know. It's been very, oh my gosh, there's been so much happening. It's been so exhausting. I was just okay, there's nothing wrong. We're all good. Oh my goodness, it scared me for some reason. My hearing's like really sensitive right now, which is not great. But I'm like at the very tail end of like, okay, so there's like this last big climactic point, right? And then you have like the consequences of such. And almost at the big climactic point, I'm like at the beginning, like the very beginning of it, kind of. I don't know. It's been on an upward going streak for a while. I guess for context, they're like in a spaceship and they're doing things. And this is like the main character has made the decision that she's going to try to like fight for something, I guess. It's kind of strange. It's kind of like both very self-destructive and also very much like getting self-actualized. It's very strange. It's very interesting. Just like her thought processes through this. It can be like multiple things at once. The main character is like using a situation to make her feel better about her actions than she actually should. Basically. I really don't know how to explain this part of the book, to be honest. I feel like the end is just like this huge rush towards like the completion, to like finishing the book and like the final like stories that happen. And it's like, I think I may be like 3 or 4 scenes to the end, but these scenes are like long scenes. Like this upcoming scene is going to probably be like 2 or 3 chapters. Maybe just 2, but we're very close, which is really intense. I couldn't figure out what to keep writing, so I wrote on my phone, and that helps me a lot. But because I wrote on my phone, that means I have to type everything up, and then I have to type up all the stuff on my phone, and then I can go back to writing. So even though it's not like the end of the month, this is like when I have to type it up. I think it will be fun. I had a lot of fun writing when I did write. I feel like I enjoyed the words I was putting down, which is nice. I find I don't have all that much motivation if I'm not writing like at least kind of pretty words, which is a little silly, I know, but that's just how it is. And I have to write the way that feels best for me, right? That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. I feel like I am in a bit of a like, I'm in a strange mood, so we'll see. But I just feel so close to the end. I just feel so close to the end. So wish me luck. Hello, so it's been a while since I've actually like talked. My dog got really sick and I had to take care of her, and she's doing a lot better now, but she's like on crate rest, so it's a bit of a thing. And she should be fine, but I gotta be very cautious. I typed in my words on my like Scrivener page and I'm at 56,000-ish words, I think. I don't know. And I've written a bit since then. I think there's like only 3 scenes left, which is kind of intense. But obviously I haven't been writing like a huge amount. I've been writing like a little bit at a time, but I have gotten a reasonable amount of progress. I've done things, you know, so that's good. Now that we've gotten to this point though, even though I don't really have time, I've gotten over a lot of big humps of like this story. I'm at the like climax, like the actual climax. Most of the character arcs are pretty well like tied up. There's just a few little like finishing touches to push in. I will try to like connect directly to the climax, which this story, the whole thing, the whole like character arc for the main character is so entwined with the climax of this story. It feels like the whole thing was built around that, which it kind of was. I am a character first writer. I tend to come up with like a character arc. The plot is like the reason why the character arc happened. scenes, I guess. They're so intertwined for me that it's hard for me to like pull them apart. The lead up to it, that's kind of a little more questionable because I'm not entirely sure where they're going in the lead up. I'm not sure what beats I need to hit for it to make sense. Obviously that can be fixed in revision and it will be fixed in revision. I can already tell there's gonna be a pretty good edit on it. It's interesting because I don't know if I'm gonna be deleting a lot of scenes, but I can tell I'm gonna be like adding a whole bunch. So we'll see how that turns out. But before I can edit it, I need to finish it. Since I'm at the climax point, the writing itself is a lot faster. There's like one thing I want to happen in the scene, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it to happen in any sort of reasonable way. I'm really gonna have to figure out the logistics of it, like, and I think I can do it. Like, I think I can make it so the logistics make sense and they're not a plot hole. Anyways, I'm gonna keep writing. Wish me luck. I really hope I can finish it this week, but we have no expectations. I will see you like whenever I see you, so wish me luck. Anyways, hi, I'm back, but we're here and we're existing, and yes, okay, existence is enough sometimes. This is probably the second to last scene of the book, okay? And it is an action scene, kind of, yeah, it's an action scene, kind of a fight scene. Gosh, I'm losing train of thought. Like, I've kind of been struggling getting through it for some reason, and usually that's like for a variety of reasons, so I usually just keep writing and then I'll figure it out eventually. So I've been writing through that, and when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, it's an action scene. I know how to write those. I'll just go and I'll do the action and I'll write it. And as I was going through it, I felt like this kind of resistance to writing it. There was a point where it was going really easily and really well. I was like, oh great, awesome, let's keep going. And I started getting a bit more like stuck with it. And so what I did is I went to my other handwritten journal. Oh wait, I just skipped a page. Oh my gosh. And I just started like listing out the sections of things that happen. Like what happens first, what happens second, what happens third. While I was doing that, I came to a realization on how to fix the problem, which was really great because I started writing it and it was like consistent with what I was doing while I was writing. I was like, okay, good, good, good. And I got to a point and I was like, oh, but this would be better. So I wrote that down instead, and then that kind of trailed into like a couple of other things that just are better in general for this part of the book. But one thing I'm realizing about this scene in particular, it's like the second to last scene of the book, right? And it's not only an action scene, but it is the completion basically of the main character's emotional journey. Like, it is like one of the most integral scenes to like what the main character goes through. It's the final thing that really beats her down. The main character's emotions are like very complex in this. She has a negative character arc, so she ends up in a worse place than she started. Yeah, this is just a really complicated scene, and it's really, I really want to make sure that every emotional beat is there and that I hit it, and that the action elements of the scene weave into that. I want the action elements to like make the emotions worse. I want it to really like exaggerate them and make it more intense. That's the goal with the scene. It's a lot more complicated than I thought it was because it is like a very complex emotional arc that the main character is going through, and so that means that the action scene has to be like a complex scene, right? So that's what's going on with this. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I'll see you next time. Hello, I'm back. Well, it's been maybe a day, maybe two, I don't know. But I am on the last scene of the book. I've just finished the second to last scene, and now I'm on the last scene. I might be able to finish it today, which is really exciting. The last scene was kind of a doozy, so we'll see what this final scene is. It may actually be like 2 shorter scenes, question mark? But we'll see. I'm really close. I'm so close. Though I am getting senses of where I need to like edit and where I need to like fix things. So this is my first like horror novel. I've written a lot of horror, but like a lot of like short stories, a lot of just fun little things. I like inject horror into other parts, right? I've written like a lot of romance and a lot of that stuff, so I have a better idea of how to pace it. Whereas with this horror, I have like no idea how to pace it at all. But I really need to like read it back and really take note of those things and see if I can inject more like character and like personality, especially into the side characters. I want to give it more, like, you know, I want to give it more like, people time. I think it's mostly going from like step to step to step, which I think is fine. It doesn't do that as much in the beginning, but once you get later on, you kind of lose that like interpersonal relationships, kind of, because everyone's just freaking out. Maybe. I think that's what's happening. But like there's no way to tell there's no way to tell until I actually finish the book. So that's what we need to do until we finish the book and read it through without me knowing everything. So it'll be fun. I'm excited. I'm kind of taking like mental notes on what I should look out for, which is like what I always do because I always get excited about the editing process. But I do need to take a break from this once I actually finish it. But yeah, almost done. Anyways, I'm gonna go and I'll probably come back a little later, like getting through it when I first went and finished. Maybe, possibly, hopefully, unless something happens. I don't know. It's entirely possible I don't finish it today, but I'm so close, so we'll see. It's done. I finished it. It's actually done. It always feels so surreal to finish a book. This thing I've been working on for over a year now, it's done. It's just complete. Just so cool. Oh my gosh. I'm like shocked a little bit. But I'm already thinking about the next things I want to do. I kind of want to edit my horror short story. It probably will end up being novella when I edit it. But I kind of want to edit that and get a sense of how to like edit horror because I think it will be good practice. But like, it's done. I finished it. I completed it, which is so exciting. I was beginning to think it would never get done. Not like in terms of I would give up on it, just like it would take much longer. Alright, so my goals, I guess. I'm just gonna enjoy this. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna take too much of a break, but I'm gonna figure out what I want to do next. I am so excited to edit it and to just like look at all the ways I can make it better and improve it, and like I'm really hoping when I edit it I can add like banter and stuff because I love writing banter. We'll see, we'll see. I will probably print it and then I'll bind it. I will go and I'll just make a bunch of notes. So this is the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the most luck in all of your endeavors and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.